Okay, if the framing looks a little bit different, I don't know what's going on. My computer just, my camera just shut itself off, so I'm not quite sure what that was about. But anyway, I will continue. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot except really work on one project. So I'll quickly go through the other two that I have done a smidge on this week. And yeah, I guess I'll start there. So I have worked a little bit more on my test knit, as I said, and this is it here. So this is the second piece that I have made. So you're starting to really see that mosaic pattern coming through now, especially because of the whisper and the inkwell together have got a really good contrast. So I actually knocked pretty much all of this out in one day because I did actually get into it and was actually quite enjoying it. So this is kind of, I'm on the second, so this is panel A with the grey, the purple through the blue, and then just into the lighter colour there, and then this is panel B. So I am getting through it. I do need to probably spend at least half an hour on this every day just to ensure that it gets done for my test knit. But that's kind of as far as I've gotten in the last week, is to do that much work on it. It is relatively enjoyable to make, to be honest. I think it's hard to see the patterns forming in that mosaic knitting with the colours that I've got, because the black hole and the inkwell both have elements of blue in them. So sometimes the blue matches up with the blue and kind of hides those pixelated patterns. But yeah, you can see here, this bit here, that they're kind of very pixelated squares that kind of create triangles and arrows. So yeah, I really like the geometric nature of this pattern, so that's why I put my hand up to test knit it. But like my mojo is just like completely disappeared on me. And the thing is too, is that the project that I will show you that has had the bulk of the work this week, you'll be surprised by how much I've done probably, is something that's a bit more meaty like this, because this, you know, it takes brain power. It is actually keeping my brain going to actually knit this, but yeah, for some reason it's just not gelling in my head. I don't particularly love mesh, because that's all mesh in here, even though this is relatively simple mesh, and it does create a really cool sort of what do you call it, like a diamond sort of shape, because the way that the decreases are done, they actually sort of offset and they create this sort of zigzag kind of diamond shape on the mesh. But I didn't say what this was. This is my Pixelex test knit. So, I mean, you'll have seen a little card come in on the side anyway. But yeah, that's about as far as I've gotten on that. So I have made some progress, and I do need to make more of a commitment daily to get more of that done, just so that it is done for the test knit. So I should keep this out in my knitting area so I can remember to do it. That would be helpful. But I will move on to the next thing that has had a smidge of work done to it, and that is my Stoker Shawl. So I have been working on it. It won't look much different to what it looked last week. It is already well and truly a schlanket, and there's much more to go. So I think I've done eight garter ridges, so I need to do 2 more, and then I can get onto the eyelets and the lace. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to really notice that I've done much on this, but I have done maybe a repeat or 2 on it. Not really much more than that to talk about. That's my Stoker Shawl. It's going to be very boring this week, guys. But, you know, them's the breaks. I don't really know why. Just feeling a little bit down the last couple of weeks, so that's possibly something to do with why I don't really feel like crafting, besides the fact that I had crafting overload while I was on holidays, because I got a lot done. Also, I need to get back into my routine. I had therapy on Tuesday, and my therapist said I need to get back to my routine, which is very true, because I'm always much happier when I know what I'm doing and I have a routine set out. So as of next week, I will be getting back into that. but I will show you my final work in progress and then get on to some dyeing that I did yesterday for another upcoming project. And this is possibly going to be pretty hard to kind of see and understand. It is a sweater, but it kind of looks like a skirt right at this point in time, with a big split up the side. So this is the River jumper, and I cannot remember off the top of my head who the designer is, but it'll be in the sliding bar and down in the description where all the show notes and links are. So this is what I've been working on mostly. It's a cable jumper, and I will see if I can get a panel nice and clear for you to see. So it is a cable jumper, and it is worked off mostly charts that I am working off, and this is knit in, I'm knitting this in one of my favourite sweater bases. It is Wool of the Andes by Knit Picks, and this is the Blossom Heather colourway. So you can see there it's very much a heathered colourway. Some sections look a little bit bluish or a little bit mauvish, and then other bits are like a little bit more pale. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this knit. Like, it's just something that's really getting my brain going. And although I've never really been a huge fan of cables, for some reason this is just really hitting the spot with me at the moment. And I almost didn't knit this because I had it in my queue for this yarn when I bought this yarn, and I mean, I bought the yarn I think specifically for it, and then when I looked back at my queue and I was like, why have I queued that? Because it's also a little bit more of a cropped looking sweater. I don't wear cropped sweaters. I don't wear cropped anything. I tend to wear more oversized long sweaters. But I looked at it again and I figured I could always possibly do an extra repeat of the cable designs just to make it a little bit longer before I finish off. So we'll see what happens. But at the moment this is kind of taking up all of my knitting time, and to be honest, I am not sad about it. I'm on my third ball. I've just about finished my third ball of the yarn, and yeah, the pattern, I must say, is a little bit hard to follow. I've had a couple of little issues, and because I kind of feel like it jumps around. I think it gives you like hints of what's going to happen further along, but it's almost like they came in too early for me, and I was like, oh, am I doing that now? And then it's like, no, that's for something later. So I have to say the pattern is a touch confusing, but once you kind of have your instructions down and you know what you're doing, and then you pretty much just work off the charts, and that's where I'm at the moment. So the way what I have here is working, this is actually the yoke. So it's a drop sleeve kind of sweater. These two edges are going to be seamed, and obviously you can see it goes down over my shoulder. And then this is, as I said, this is the top. You knit down the body, do your edging, I think it's like a moss stitch rib. You can kind of see it here. So there's kind of a moss stitch rib. So you've got like your rib stitch, your rib column, and then you've got you know, like moss stitch in between. So it finishes off like that as well, and then you just pick up the sleeves, and the sleeves are just knit in stockinette. So that's where I'm at. I'm thinking about possibly seaming my shoulders already, because I'm sick of all of these ends that are kind of hanging out. But I believe the designer wants you to try it on at the end and then decide how wide you want your neck. So I might hold off. I think once I've knit a little bit more of the body, the ends aren't going to bother me as much because they're going to be further down the work. But yeah, that's where I'm at, and I'm really enjoying this knit. And yeah, I think apart from making myself work on my test knit just so that it gets done, this is probably going to be getting all of my attention, because I don't know, I've been working on it for the last, I think I cast it on Monday and today is Thursday, so the last, you know, 3 days. and I kind of can't put it down. It's all I really want to do, so we'll see how we go. Alright, and that's all I've been working on, and apart from doing some dyeing yesterday, I got my yarn order in on Monday, so I have all my yarn ready to go for all my Lights of Loberthal pre-orders, which will be starting next week. I was hoping to start on Monday, but then it turns out Monday is a public holiday here in Australia, so Monday will not be a dye day, because I'll have two blokes home who'll probably want to use the kitchen and all sorts of things like that, so it's just not worth it. And besides the fact, if Simon wants to go somewhere, I gotta be free. So yeah, so I did do some dyeing yesterday for a personal project, and that is, I've been inspired by, I was watching Wool & Vine's podcast, and Kristen was wearing a Tanya sweater, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and hers was made out of this really gorgeous, she actually did a mohair mix, like she held mohair together with her yarn, and it was this really lovely sort of deep browny colour. And although I don't really enjoy brown that much, I did do some dyeing yesterday to try and create a colourway I could use for my Tanya. And it is not like hers, not exactly like hers, but it was kind of inspired by. So mine's ended up, it looks really green. I don't know why it's coming off so green. It's not green. It's like a browny grey. So this is the yarn that I have created. It is very speckly. See if we can bring it back here. It's probably closer to the real colour. I don't know. It seems to come off green in my viewfinder, so we'll see what it looks like on my computer. But yes, it is very, very speckly, and I think that's focused now. So it's looking for my face, that's probably the problem. So it's very, very speckly, and I dyed this on my merino sock base because I've never actually used my merino sock base. So there we go, I have dyed it on that, and I have also dyed some of the mohair silk as well, in the same colorway. So it's like a browny grey. It's coming off really strangely on the like I said, on the viewfinder, but it's like a browny grey. And yeah, it's got lots of speckles in it. So I'm super excited to cast this on, but I think I will have to A, get my test knit done, and B, get my other river jumper done as well before I cast this on. But it is sitting there and it can taunt me as much as it likes because I am in love with this colourway. I do want to get more browns and earthy colours into the shop this year, so, and more pinks because I like pink. And I don't have a lot of pink, so I'm hoping to really work on getting some more of the earthy colours and some more sort of pink yarns in the shop this year. So hopefully that sounds good to you. But yeah, that's about it for today. I think I might leave it there. We're at about 15 minutes, so I might leave it there. Thank you to everybody who has come over to my second channel, my Julianne Elizabeth channel, where I am talking about my alternate day fasting. I didn't really get much of a chance to talk about it last week because my computer, why do I keep calling my camera my computer? My camera battery was running low and I had to kind of wrap up very quickly. But for those of you who either missed that or wanted more information, I have a second channel. It's called Julianne Elizabeth. I will link it down in the description or up in the doobly-doo. I could probably do that as well. And yes, I am doing daily vlogging. So I record 2 to 3 times a day. I put that all together in a video and I release them twice a week. I do one from Monday to Wednesday and then another one from Thursday to Sunday. And so I'm uploading twice a week with my daily trials and tribulations and successes of doing alternate day fasting. And yes, if you are interested in that at all, it is a healthy, I suppose, a healthy lifestyle, weight loss kind of theme. So if you're not interested in that, you can just watch the progress on this every week when I do my podcast. You can just see as I lose weight on here. But if you are interested, or you are interested in alternate day fasting and you want to see how I go, or how a person goes on that sort of way of eating, head over there and check it out. Give me a subscribe. Like I said, I'll be posting twice a week at least. If I have, like, maybe if I have some questions come in or something like that, I might do some frequently asked questions videos and things like that. But yeah, it's also a little bit more of a personal kind of me talking about my mental health, and probably not that I've done very much lately. I will be taking my camera along on anything that Simon and I do. There's recipes in there. There'll be links to recipes in the descriptions of most of the videos. And things like that. So if you are interested in finding some new recipes, or are interested in intermittent fasting kind of lifestyles, then head over and give me a subscribe, and I hope to see you there. If not, no worries at all. You can just see my progress here on this channel. But that being said, thank you so much for spending some time with me today to talk about what I've been crafting and dyeing and all of that good stuff. And I really hope that you'll have a fantastic week, and happy knitting, happy crafting, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.